TheVanDeans, Mendicino, California to Grants Pass, Oregon on Highway 101 through the Avenue of the Giants and Redwoods National Park. We were driving along with no intention to stop, but we saw this really cool bridge and thought we'd take a break from driving, and we're so glad we did because we stumbled upon Mendicino, California. Dylan decided to practice some photography, and I told her she had to find a different subject before we took a walk around town and found an awesome place to stay. How's this view that we woke up to the next day? We went back to the beach we initially stopped for and had a good walk as a family and met a couple of other families out there doing the same, which was super nice before we jumped back on the road heading north. It didn't take too long before the road left the coast and went inland to the Avenue of the Giants. These are the redwoods, which are the cousins of the sequoias that we saw earlier on in our travels. Not quite as big around, but they sure are tall. And we hope you enjoy this drive through this magnificent forest. These trees grow in groves, so we drive along and see a grove and then keep going and see a few more. This road has some of the tallest trees in America. We decided to stop and show you the van. Two different vantage points because the first one didn't really do it justice, as you can see here. But when you look at this photo, you can see that our camping van looks like a matchbox car. You feel so small walking amongst these big trees. We didn't stay too long as we knew we were heading to the Redwoods National Park in the next couple of days, so here's the rest of the drive. Here's the last few redwoods before we headed out to the highway to head north to Fontana, where we would stay at a casino but go and visit a cute little town, Ferndale. This is the type of town that Nanny would love to visit if she was with us, so we went for a drive down the main street and noticed all the cool shops, from antiques to bookstores to coffee shops and ice cream parlors. A very historic, cool town to visit. After a couple of nights stay at Bear River Casino in Fortuna, we headed north to the Redwoods National Park to explore. Dylan was rather excited when we got to the visitor center and there was a beach to go see. The Redwoods National Park actually has tidal pools and a coastal environment, as well as the famous and beautiful trees that most people frequent the park to go see. Up the Northern California coast, we'd seen a bunch of signs about tsunami, so this board was helpful to talk to Dylan about what a tsunami is and how it occurs. She was about as interested as any 3-year-old because there was a beach ready to be played on, but at least she's had some sort of exposure to these types of things. Back to photography.
Can I take a photo? Can I take a photo, Mom?
She didn't do a bad job. We may have to utilize this going forward. Well, that is if we can keep her from wanting to be in the photos. Hey Dylan, is it time to go see some more big trees? Let's go! We passed a cute little farm with sheep and then headed on the road and noticed there was a fair few signs warning us of elk. It wasn't a few minutes later when we got closer to Redwoods National Park that we saw a herd of elk sitting on the side of the road. As you can see, everyone was stopped looking at them. It was pretty cool to see this many elk all at one time. Welcome to Redwoods National Park. First stop for us, Honeywell Donald Memorial Grove, with our cute but inexperienced guide, Dylan. Let's enjoy what this park has to offer.
Where's Mom? And I'm the Explorer.
Oh, watch out, Explorer.
Follow the leader, Dylan, to the big tree. That's a big tree. That's a very big tree. We'll follow the way to more big trees in a second, but this one is massive, known as the big tree. 286 feet or about 90 meters tall. Let's take the circle trail and see what we can find.
Oh, Dylan, there's a tree in the way. How are we going to get around it?
It's a big tree, Mom.
It's a massive tree.
How are we get up it?
Oh, I don't think we're going to climb up it. I think we're going to go around it. Or through the end of it. A layer of bark's bigger than Scotty's hand. Let's go see what else we can find.
Can you put it on, Mom?
Hey, Dylan, I found you a spot. Dylan, I found you a spot. Come here. Quick, quick, quick. Look, can you have this? Your side.
She disappeared.
I'm right here. Here I am, Mom.
We took a picture of this fallen log, and the only thing I had to compare it to was Scotty's best side as he posed next to the tree. This place was so cool, and we wish we could have stayed here for longer. These trees are amazing and what they can be carved into. Check out this root system to the right with all the ferns growing in it. And here's a twisted tree. Self-timer photo because Dylan decided she didn't want to take any more photos before we headed out from the park. This gives you a little bit of a look at all the different groves as we drove north through Redwood National Park. It definitely gives you a sense of awe and wonder and just invites you to come and spend a little bit of time and rest in nature. We'd encourage anyone to come visit. We had a great time visiting Redwood National Park, and now it was time to head to Klamath and Crescent City along the coast before heading inland to Grants Pass. Let's see what we can see. We hadn't seen rain in months, and then suddenly we were driving through the forest towards Oregon, and thankfully Scotty was the one driving. This was definitely an interesting place to navigate in the rain, but also very beautiful. What beautiful scenery to drive through next to the river that actually brought us in through a tunnel, which Dylan absolutely loves. She always asks Daddy to blow the horn. And it cleared up on the other side, not too far along, and we got to see the devastation of fires from previous years, right before we got into Oregon. Welcome to Grants Pass, Oregon, and the only place we took video was at the water park or splash pad. Dylan hadn't been to a park in ages, and this one had a playground and a splash pad. Win, win, win. Notice she said zebra. She may have an Australian accent or use Australian words after all. Here's just a couple of outtakes.
Look, Dylan, slow down so you don't fall in the forest.
Dad, it's not my name is Dora. This is the jungle.
Dora.
Oh, can I hold the camera, please? Can I hold the camera, please? Can I hold the camera, please?
The big camera.
We find her in her native element.